Hello everyone, welcome to ACE Online and welcome to Daily Current Affairs session. Sorry for the delay, there was some technical issues in the live streaming, so that's why there was some delay. Okay, thanks for your patience. Before going into the discussion, let's see what are all the articles that we are going to cover. Parliamentary privileges. So you all know yesterday Supreme Court has pronounced certain judgment related to the privileges, parliament privileges. We will see the background, like in what context Supreme Court has pronounced this, yearly what has happened and what now the Supreme Court has pronounced. So we will come up with a very clear background and then we will see the present scenario, what Supreme Court has said. Next, and very important article, a little bit complex I would say, along with the importance. So there was India's nuclear program, nuclear energy program, we can say it as nuclear energy program. We will see what actually is nuclear energy, and then the context is our Honorable Prime Minister has recently started the core nuclear program. So that's why we have taken this article. And then very small article, Chaku, a fact, app launched, not app actually, it is a website launched by the Ministry of Power. So we will see that as well. And then Shanan hydropower project. So this is Ministry of Communication. Yes, we will see in detail. Shanan hydro power project between Punjab and Himachal Pradesh. So this is very important because this is an interstate dispute that was there in news. We will see from the background what has happened and all. Again, it comes under the environment part, carbon capture and storage. So there is a lot of carbon dioxide increasing in the environment. So the aim is to capture it and reduce the amount of carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere. We will see in detail how it how it does and what are all the elements related to it. Then Chapchar Kut festival from Mizoram. Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project. You all know this was in news because some piers was broken since few months and this has also become political issue. Then there are 2-3 facts which are relevant for our exam. Finally, there are some practice questions as usual, right? I hope now you are all ready, even though there is a little bit delay. So thanks for your support that you are all here for the session. Let's start. A very good evening, Tarun, and a very good evening to all of you. First article is parliamentary privileges. We will understand from from very basic level, no need to worry, but let's understand why it is there in news yesterday. Supreme Court has said that legislators, that means who are elected by the people or indirectly elected by the people, like Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. So the members who are elected by the people does not enjoy immunity. That means what? There is no immunity, there is no resistance if you are involved in criminal prosecution for bribery charges. So if there is any case that you are involved in bribery charges, there is no one going to be saved from the constitutional specialities that has given to you. Okay, so this is what the Supreme Court has announced. We will see from very details. Also, in this context, we can discuss a background. Supreme Court has now said that legislators who are involved in bribery charges does not have any what you call resistance or you can immunity. But the same case few years ago in 1998. In 1998, same Supreme Court, in one of the cases, P.V. Narasimha Rao was the state of CBI, it said that if within parliament there is any bribery, like if some person is giving money to some other person to vote in certain direction, in such situations, whatever happened within house, no one should involve. So they have immunity. No one should question the MPs or MLAs, both of those categories, whether in center or state. Nobody should question them if some bribery has happened within the house, because they have interpreted differently some articles in the Indian Constitution. Okay, so this is what the context. Now let's go from a very basic level to make you understand in a better way. What are parliamentary privileges? This is the basic thing that you need to understand, and questions can be asked, the articles related to it and the what is parliament privileges and all, right? So in the democracy, that is any country that is elected by the people directly, right? So in any democracy, legislators, that are those parliamentarians or MLAs who are elected directly by the people, should have sufficient or at least the basic level of immunity. Like someone should not stop them to go into the parliament because That is their duty which are fulfilling to nurture the democracy. So Parliament has given certain privileges. We will see what are privileges, certain benefits to those who are elected by the people directly or indirectly, right? So those privileges which are given by the constitution or some conventions, that is parliamentary acts, laws, something whatever may be, there are certain benefits or privileges given to the members who are elected, and those are derived from Article 105 for the people who are elected at the parliament central level, and for MLAs or at the state level, this Article 194 gives the privilege. We will see what is the provisions. So these are the benefits given to the legislators to not affect the duty to conduct day-to-day business, right? Now, the members of parliament are exempted from any civil or criminal proceedings when the session is on, like monsoon session or any other session when parliament or legislature are discussing those important things. So in such cases, there is a civil as well as criminal liability. So nobody should arrest them because they are performing some duty which is important for the nation. So those are considered as a parliamentary privileges. Anyway, they are not absolute. Absolute in the sense nobody should question, right? But this is not absolute. There are certain exemptions, right? So they cannot do certain things even though some privileges are given, right? So what are parliamentary privileges? There are two types of parliamentary privileges given by constitution to the legislators, whether MLAs or MPs. They are one at the individual level. So for each MP and each MLA, there were provisions given by the constitution. Similarly, there is a collective privileges together for all the members of the house, all the members of Lok Sabha, all the members of state assembly. So together there were some provisions, and individually there are some provisions, some privileges. These are all very important and many times have been asked in the exam. We will see first the individual privileges. Individually each MP MLA enjoys this. First one is members cannot be arrested during the session of parliament for 40 days before the beginning of the session. For example, if June 1 there is a parliament session, they are going to meet and discuss the important things. Before 40 days, this person he or she who was elected to the parliament should not be arrested, okay, before 40 days. And also 40 days after the session. After the session also, after June 1, once the session is over, maybe June 20, the session is over. After that also, 40 days should not be arrested. This is that they may be involved in some duty which is important for the democracy. So this is only in case of civil cases, not in the criminal cases. Criminal cases means it is having the highest offense like murder, rape, something like that. So only civil case they have the privileges. This is very, very important. Each MP, MLA has this privilege. Next, members have freedom of speech in the parliament. So whatever they are discussing, whatever it may be, sometimes there may be negative, sometimes there may be positive. So whatever they speak within parliament should not be taken as a offense by any of the courts. So this is the second important individual privilege given to the MPs. Finally, they are exempted from jury services. See, there is one important thing here. The MLAs, MPs who are elected to the legislatures, they can participate in jury. That is, they can act as a lawyers. Our constitution did not restrict that these MPs should not work as a lawyers. They can elect. So this is one important provision they may ask in the exams. So if there is a jury service, if he is part of some private agency who is working as a lawyer, so it is exempted. So nobody should ask him to come and work in jury because he is attending the parliamentary session, which is much more important. So these are all the individual privileges given to each of the MP and MLAs, right? So Article 105 for parliament, listen carefully, these facts are all very important. And then 194 for state assemblies, right? So the questions anyway we will solve at the end. Similarly, the parliament constitution has given the collective privileges all together as an institution rather than individual level. They have got some privileges. First one is right to exclude strangers from its proceedings. When the parliament is going on, speaker or the parliament together, they can disallow, they should not allow anyone, they have the right to not allow anyone because there is some secrecy. For example, they are discussing India-China relations, maybe war related thing, so nobody should listen. That's why they have given power, constitution has given power to disallow those strangers. And then right to make rules to regulate its own procedure. So when should be the parliamentary session should start and where to sit, what type of discussion should happen. There are certain rules and regulations. Those things can be framed by the the parliament itself. Nobody should question. Supreme Court cannot come and you do like this. Nobody should do can say that. It is up to the parliament that they can do whatever they want. Right to punish the members as well as the outsiders for the breach of privileges. So there are a lot of privileges given to the MPs and MLAs. Someone is forcing or kidnapping some person to not attend the session because there may be important one to vote so that government can stay or may not stay. So in such important things, if someone is affecting the duty of the individual MPs, then they can be penalized, they can take action on these persons. So that is a collective thing. Next, the courts prohibit inquiry into the proceedings of the house. So no court should discuss that what has happened in the house. Such a secrecy privilege is given. No person can be arrested without the permission of the presiding officer. So if police want to arrest any MP or MLA, so they need to take permission from the speaker of concerned houses. No, once that is elected, one person is elected, so he cannot be arrested without the permission. So these are very valuable privileges given to the members. But there are certain situations where this were misused by the members of the parliament or MLAs, right? So there are certain situations where they are misusing these privileges, which is against the constitution also, right? So that these are the privileges. Now, what has happened in 1998? Which was the misused. So there was a member from Communist Party of India. He has passed the no confidence motion. No confidence motion means any motion which can make possible to what you call collapse the government if there is no majority, right? So for example, if there are 500 members, so at least 251 is the majority to stay in the government. So no confidence motion was passed by Communist Party of India member in the parliament, and almost everyone knows that government is not having majority. The Congress government in 1996 under prime ministership of P.V. Narasimha Rao, former prime minister, so many of knows that there is no majority and government is going to collapse. Then what has happened? P.V. Narasimha Rao, this is known fact, don't take it as a political one. So P.V. Narasimha Rao was proved that there was some bribe given to the members of opposition party other than Congress to forcefully vote to support him, right? And it was proved the members has accepted after few years. So Supreme Court has said that this is not an what you call against constitution. This is not a constitutional thing. It is protected by the constitution under Article 105. So they have said, Supreme Court have said that this is not against, so this is an internal matter of the parliament, nobody can question it. That's what the Supreme Court has said, right? I hope you understood the issue. Now Supreme Court has changed that. That's why we have taken this article. So this is what I am discussing, that earlier Supreme Court has said that nobody should intervene. This is internal matter of the parliament. But now Supreme Court has overturned. That time it was taken by 5-judge bench. That means any decision taken together by the number of judges who sat for that case, 5 member. But now it is 7 member. Any case which need to be overturned by the Supreme Court will have to be higher members than the previous judgment. Previous judgment there were 5 judges. Yesterday there were 7 judges, right? So they said that it is unconstitutional. So what the court said, this is also very, very important. Yesterday what the court said. Lawmakers, that is legislatures, facing bribery charges in connection with their speech and votes in the House cannot be immune for criminal proceedings. Yes, there is a civil case, there is some exemption, but if it is a criminal case like bribery, then there is no exemption. That's what the Supreme Court has pronounced yesterday. It has overturned its own judgment which has happened in 1998, right? And privileges and immunities are not gateways to claim exemptions. So fine, there were some privileges, but it cannot be acted as against the constitution. Bribery is against the constitution. against the principle of democracy. So you cannot use these privileges to act against the constitutional values of the country. So that's what the Supreme Court has said. Similarly, it has claimed that parliament privileges are given only to perform your duty in a perfect manner, not to do something negative, right? So that is what the Supreme Court also said in the judgments. Similarly, accepting bribes cannot be said necessary discharge of the own function. So anyway, you just accepting your bribes is not affecting your own duty to perform. There is no connection between the two. So there is no more privileges for the members if they are involved in the bribery cases. Any doubts in this? So we have seen in this article what Supreme Court has overturned now. Supreme Court has pronounced yesterday, it has overturned its own judgment of 1998. We have seen the context. Now what is parliament privileges, why they are given, we have seen articles, and then there are individuals and collective privileges. Then after we have seen the case, what has happened in 1998. Then we have seen what Supreme Court has said yesterday, right? So this is a very, very important article. You can see a lot of questions on from polity section, okay? Right. Next, and very important as well as a little bit complex article, okay? So after this rest of the articles are you can easily understand. Please, I'm again telling, it is very, very important as well as very complex. So try to be very focused when you are listening to this, right? And if you have any doubts, you can ask in the comment section. So recently, Prime Minister, our Honorable Narendra Modi ji, has started the process of core loading. I'll tell you what is core loading, no need to worry. Process of core loading in the fast breeder reactor, prototype fast breeder reactor at Madras Atomic Power Station in Kalapakam. Okay, so there is a lot of things you may ask, sir, what is this fast breeder reactor, what is core loading? I will be explaining those things, so no need to worry. Just understand the context that something has happened, something related to the nuclear energy was launched by the Prime Minister. That's why we have taken this article. Okay, first, what is core loading? The Prime Minister has started the core loading. So core loading is the place where in the nuclear reactor the actual reaction takes place. It is the core part, it is the core part of the nuclear reactor where there is going to take the reaction to produce the electricity, right? So that is the core loading. They have started to give the power at the core level where the actual energy is produced. Before going into details, let's understand what is nuclear power. What is nuclear power? We have different types of energy in the electricity production. We have coal-based production, thermal plants. We have solar energy, we have wind energy. So we can produce electricity from different sources, isn't it? Similarly, we can produce electricity even from nuclear reactions. Okay, so those energy produced from nuclear reactions, that is called as nuclear energy. And you may ask, sir, how it is produced? So there are two types of methodologies. You can see here, nuclear fission and nuclear fusion and nuclear fission. So in nuclear fusion means coming together, right? So here neutron, helium, deuterium, tritium. So these are also important. Which of the following are involved in fusion? Something like that they may ask. So helium you know, neutron you know, right? Tritium as well, a critical mineral, then deuterium. So all together if we suddenly club, there will be immediate reaction and there will be a generation of electrical energy. So this is based on the fusion. Now fission means dividing into. Fusion means combining into, fission means dividing into. So here whenever there is a neutron which is combined together, some minerals are there and some neutron is hit with this composition, the together composition. So this will divide into number of divisions. So the electricity again is generated. So these are the two types of energy. This is a little bit complex, I understand, a scientific one. This all happens inside the nuclear reactors, these reactions and all, and there are certain pipes to capture electrical energy and all, right? You don't need to worry about too much complex. So just understand fusion and fission reactions where we can produce the electricity through nuclear reaction, right? So that is the nuclear power. Now, this is very important and a complex part that I was telling it to you, that India was planning 3-stage nuclear program, nuclear energy program, I can say. Okay, so India is aiming to produce this nuclear energy in a 3-step manner. Before that, let's understand few facts. This to work, the nuclear energy to produce, we need very important minerals like uranium, thorium and all, right? India is having very good amount of thorium, but we don't have uranium. Please focus on understand what I am saying. This is very important. So as I am saying that we have thorium resource in India in monazite, I mean mostly in Kerala coast we were able to find it. So India have thorium resource, but India does not have uranium reserves. Uranium reserves are absent. Now to use this thorium resource, we have thorium resource. To use this thorium resource, we cannot directly put it in the nuclear reactors. So we need to follow certain steps. Before using thorium, we need to do few more steps to use it completely. So for that process, we are going through 3-step process. Only in the 3rd phase, we are using the thorium. We can use the thorium, right? We cannot use thorium here and here, right, directly. So we can only use thorium in the 3rd stage. That's why we need to fulfill the stage 1 and stage 2 as well. I'll explain you what is stage 1 and stage 2, don't worry. Now, yesterday Prime Minister has launched the starting phase of stage 2. We were able to achieve this stage 1 and stage 3 is still pending. We need to pass through stage 2. Then only we will be able to use the thorium. So it may take some years before we go into the 3rd stage and India becomes a very very important country to generate nuclear energy, because thorium will be easily available, right? So this is the conditions. That's why this is a 3-stage. So you may ask why 3-stage, because they need to pass through 2 stages to use the thorium reserves completely, right? Now let's understand each stages what happens. The questions are also asked, already been asked. In first stage we are using it, and then what type of reactors we are using it, they are asking you in the exam. Okay, now let's understand the first phase, first stage, what is happening. Here we are using pressurized heavy water reactors. We have 3 types of reactors we are going to use in 3 stages. In stage 1 we are using pressurized heavy water reactors. In 2nd stage we are using fast breeder reactors. They will ask you in this statement based. On 3rd phase we are using thermal breeder reactors. Very, very important. First one, pressurized heavy water reactors, fast breeder reactors, and then finally thermal breed reactors we are using in the 3rd phase. Coming back to the first phase, first stage, here we are using natural uranium that contains 99% of uranium-238. 238 is an isotope. No need to worry, no need to remember too much scientifical. Just understand that in the first phase we are using the uranium. And uranium we don't have too much reserves. We are taking from some other countries, right? So first we are using the uranium. After that, being it fissile, how it is formed? There are 2 types of materials, non-fissile and fissile materials. Fissile materials are those which can undergo nuclear fission, okay, so divide. So this can be divided. So this is a fissile material. Understand what is fissile material. Fissile mineral or material is any material that can undergo a nuclear fission if it is struck by a neutron. So there is a neutron, right? So which does not have charge, an atom. If this neutron hits this any of the fissile materials, it will lead to production of nuclear energy. So that's the thing you need to understand. So here we are using the uranium and it is being hit by the neutron. So what we will get here? We will get plutonium-239 as a byproduct. So to use the what you call thorium resource, which is present in a maximum manner in India, we need to use plutonium also. For producing plutonium, we need to use the uranium, right? So uranium we are using, then producing plutonium, and then it is enabling us to use thorium. So this is the 3 phases. In first phase, we are using uranium-239 to produce plutonium. So plutonium is an outcome of byproduct of the stage 1, where we have used the uranium. Okay, so fissile material, I have said fissile material means when neutron is sent, so it is producing the energy. The next one, I hope you are following because this is a little bit complex. Yeah, so I'll do those things. We will come up with a lot of insurance. We are planning it. Don't worry. This is a very basic level. We will come up with the environment, all those things in the coming days. Okay. So in the second stage, now tell me anyone what has happened in the first phase. First stage. I am again explaining you. There is a fissile materials which can produce energy, some other minerals or energy when neutron is passes through it. So uranium-238 is used to produce the plutonium. Plutonium is a byproduct. Now this plutonium is being used in fast breeder reactors. Now we are sending plutonium to the fast breeder reactors. So what it is going now? Inside reaction is happening, and then plutonium gives rise to, plutonium is consumed, and it gives, understand what I am saying. So here in the first phase we got the plutonium. Now the plutonium is being mixed with the fast breeder reactors, and it will lead to production of thorium. Finally, it will enable the use of thorium reserves introduced. So only after completing the second phase, where plutonium-239 is created certain feasible conditions, they will create in a much faster reactions, right? So we have produced uranium and then plutonium from that first phase at the end, and we are using the plutonium to produce, to enable to use the thorium reserves that is available in India, right? So second phase has to be completed, and finally through thermal breeder reactors we were able to use the thorium-232, right? So which is produced, we are using it here. Second stage using, whatever happened in the second stage, we are now using the thorium-232. So what you need to remember, you need to remember certain facts. Even if you are if you feel like it is a complex thing to be remembered, understand here. Here we used uranium-238 and we produced plutonium. And in second phase we are using the plutonium and enabling the conditions in the reaction to use thorium. Once this condition is created, the thorium which we can be created, here we are using thorium-232, right? Now we have thorium. In India we have a lot of thorium reserves. Here we will put all the thorium and we will extract the electrical energy, right? So to produce energy we need to pass through these three phases. That's what the government, so we were able to pass the stage 1 and now we are doing the second stage, right? Any doubts in this? I understand this is a little bit complex, but you need to remember those where we are using the thermal breeder, fast breeder, right? And then where we are using the pressurized heavy water reactor. So there's a lot of importance here. That's why even though it is complex thing I have taken, because it is very important to be remembered, all these facts, right? So that is about the nuclear energy program which India is following. So it is a 3-stage process. Next one, very direct fact. Ministry of Communication has launched Chaku facility on Sanchar Sathi portal. We will see what is Sanchar Sathi portal. We will also see what is Chaku. Okay. So Chaku is nothing but it enables, you all know that we are getting lot of junk calls, right? So we have got lot of spam calls in these days and they will ask for loans or something like that. So they are abusing or they are misusing the technology, right? So there are certain incidents also where they called and they have taken all the money from our bank accounts. There were such situations. To contain this, now government has introduced Chaku facility where any citizens can report any messages, any calls, any WhatsApp messages which may be affecting your privacy or whichever is affecting your accounts or whatever the things. You can directly complain here in Chaku. Remember, you will also face this. I am telling you, you will also face this situation. So if you face this situation, just go to Chaku. It will be available in Sanchar Sathi portal. Just type the portal name Sanchar Sathi. You will get, and there will be a Chaku. You can note it, and central government will immediately take the action, right? So this is the important fact to be remembered. They will directly ask what is Chakshu, and it is launched by Ministry of Communication. Ministry of Communication, right? So this is about the thing. Now what is Sanchar Sathi? Sanchar Sathi is a portal launched by Ministry of Communication, the telecommunication already, to reform the services related to mobile connections and telecommunication. It was developed by CDOT, right? An organization under Ministry of Telecommunication. So already a portal was created for all the cyber frauds, all the telecommunication related, but within that we have created Chakshu to specifically receive complaint from the customers who are facing this issue, right? So that is the thing that you need to remember. So this portal can check the connections related to names, report fraudulence, you can report, block the mobile phones which are stolen, check IMEI, and accordingly they can catch up the criminals as well. So all these things can happen from it. So remember this is a factual thing, Chakshu as well as Sanchar Sathi portal associated with the Ministry of Communication. Any doubts in this? Next one. Funnel channel. So you have said, sir, you said only 2% of thorium there. Then from where we can get to? See, uranium we are importing from Australia, Canada, Kazakhstan. India does not have uranium. It has only 2%. But that's why we are have agreements with Australia, Kazakhstan, Canada, where the uranium reserves are more in those countries. So we are importing. But in long-term manner, we cannot import more. We need to give our rupees. We lost a lot of foreign exchange reserves. So that's why as we have thorium, we need to use uranium and produce plutonium. And plutonium will enable the reactors to use thorium in the third phase. That's why we are doing this all process, right? I hope it is clear for you now. Next article, Shanan hydropower project. Okay, so this was in news because the controversy between Punjab and Himachal Pradesh, right? So the context why we have taken this article is the center ordered to maintain status quo. Status quo here means whatever already existing, the same situation should be prevalent. So center has announced that whatever the situation related to the Shanan hydropower project should remain the same. Nobody should change the condition, existing condition. Okay. Now what is Shanan hydropower project? Shanan hydropower project is located on Ul River. This is very, very important fact. I am specifically mentioning it. This project is located on Ul River. You all know the hydropower project, right? I am not explaining again. A hydropower project means they can keep the turbines on the river side and they can generate the electricity. So that is the hydropower project. So here this project is being constructed already constructed under Ul River, which is a tributary of Bias. And how much they can produce the power? It can produce 110 megawatts of power every year, right? So that is the thing, and it is located in Himachal Pradesh. It is located in Himachal Pradesh, then why Punjab is coming into the picture? You may get doubt, we will see that as well. Okay, so the context is disputed between these two states and center asked to maintain the status quo, and this project is located on Ul River as a tributary of Bias. Okay, it can produce 110 mega power project. Now understanding the background. Though this hydropower project is located in Himachal Pradesh, this project was given to Punjab way back in 1925. This project was given to Punjab in 1925 by the Colonel B.C. Bhatti. You all know before 1947 our country is under British. So the Raja of Himachal Pradesh, Mandi, so he has agreed to give this project to the Punjab state, right? So it was given to Punjab for approximately 99 years. It was 99 years back. The project, even though it is located in Himachal Pradesh, was given as a lease to work and produce the electricity to Punjab. And the lease has come into over on March 2nd. So 2 days back, this lease has completed. Himachal Pradesh has given Punjab and the time has over. Now, what Punjab is claiming? They still want this project because this hydel project was given to Punjab not only by Britishers but Indian government itself. When in 1967, when there is a division among states. You all know India after independence we got lot of states. Himachal Pradesh was union territory that time. UT, union territory under central government. So whatever central government will give, the same thing will be followed, right? So there is no separate state to question the Punjab. I mean Himachal Pradesh was already under the central government, and central government has allocated the project to the Punjab. Already it was leased way back in 1925, and central government also released the notification that yes, this project will be under the Punjab, right? So 1967 itself announced. So Punjab is saying that not Britishers but Indian government itself has announced it, right? So that's why even though it is located in Himachal Pradesh, we want this project for us, for ourselves. That's what the Punjab has claimed, right? It has went into for the court as well. It has went into the court. They have filed a Supreme Court. The lease is over, but still it should be under our own control, even if it is located under the Himachal Pradesh. And Himachal Pradesh is saying that it is located in our own territory, and it was given way back when we are under union territory. So how can be extended? We won't be able to extend. So that's why there was a clash between Himachal Pradesh and Punjab, right? So see, I can directly discuss the facts related to it. I mean, what is the where it is located, how much energy is produced, but you cannot remember in the exam. You need to understand the issue. What is the issue between the two states, and then you can remember the facts. That's why I have discussed. But in exam point of view, you will just remember the dispute between the two states, which states are involved, and what is the facts related to this project, where it is located. That is also important, right? Yeah. Any doubts? Now what Center said, as I said earlier, to maintain the status quo. We will decide on it in the future. So as of now, you both the states please keep silent for some time, right? So that is about the project, right? Next one, and very, very important related to the environment, carbon capture and storage. You all know in our atmosphere there is a lot of carbon dioxide. And what is the major components in our atmosphere? You all know nitrogen, which is having approximately 75, and then oxygen, and then argon, and CO2. CO2 is the fourth dominant, but as CO2 increases, there will be increase in temperature in the atmosphere. So that will lead to global warming, and greenhouse gases will affect the climate of Earth, right? So what we need to do, we need to reduce the CO2. That is the basic aim of the carbon capture and storage. So carbon should be removed from the atmosphere, and there are two types, two methods to control. Please understand, in exam they will ask. So let me take this as a CCS. So whenever I am saying CCS, it means carbon capture and storage. Carbon capture, carbon can be, or CO2 can be taken from atmosphere in two methods. One is carbon sequestration. Second one is CCS, carbon capture and storage, CCS. There are two methods. Now I am discussing, because this is in news, but anyway I am going to discuss about carbon sequestration as well. For example, there are industries and they are releasing a lot of smoke, including CO2, right? If CO2 is captured before entering into the atmosphere at the industrial level itself, at the industry itself, whenever the carbon dioxide is going to release, there will be a capture and stored. Okay, I'll tell you where it is stored and all. So even before entering the atmosphere, if CO2 is captured by the mechanisms, that is called as CCS, carbon capture and storage, right? Before even entering the atmosphere. Now, carbon sequestration is when CO2 is captured after entering into the atmosphere. So CO2 was released by the industries and it went into the atmosphere. Now CO2 is present in our atmosphere. If the atmosphere CO2 is captured, that is called as a carbon sequestration. And this is even before entering the atmosphere, right? Now why we have taken this article? Germany announced that they are going to launch carbon CCS, carbon capture and storage, and then it is going to become a carbon neutral state or country. Carbon neutral means whatever amount we are producing, we should capture it. For example, 100 tons of carbon is released throughout India from different sources, industries, whatever may be. the same 100 tons should be captured. So that means what? We are not allowing carbon to increase in the atmosphere. So if that is the case, then carbon neutral. So temperature will also come down. It won't increase at least. That is called as a carbon neutral state. So these concepts are very important for our exams. Now, as I said earlier already, so CCS means capturing the carbon even before entering into the atmosphere from the industry level itself, right? Wherever the source level, the carbon is captured, that is called as the CCS. This will bring down the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere and the greenhouse gases will reduce. Ultimately, climate change will also be tackled, right? Now, what we will do, there are three phases. You can see here, there are three futures in capturing. The process is also important. Sometimes they may ask, in the first phase, there will be a capture by the pipelines. They will keep the pipelines wherever the CO2 is there. So they are going to capture that at the starting phase, industrial level itself. And then it is separated from the gases. So here they will collect all the gases and there are technologies. I am not going to discuss those technicalities. So they will capture the gas and from the gas they will divide the CO2 in the second phase, okay, through the pipelines. Finally, it will be stored under earth, the crust. They will dig deep and they will store. And sir, won't it affect if it is stored under the earth? No, it will become solidify and it will become a resources actually in the future. It may become the coal, it may become some other useful resources. That's why it was proved actually that if you are storing under there is no effect. So that's why CO2 is caught and then captured, then separated and finally sent under the earth surface, right? So this is how the CCS will work, right? These are the three processes: capture, compression and transportation of CO2 and then injection under the earth. So this is the carbon capture and storage method, and which is very advanced technology. In the coming years this becomes very important for us. Next article, Chapchar Kut festival. Any doubts from your side in the carbon capture or whatever the things that we have discussed? If you have, you can comment here, right? A fun channel. Okay, so can you explain Narasimha case? I explained it. If you still have doubt, you can post here. I will discuss at the end. Okay. Okay, so I have missed that message. Anyway, at the end, if you have doubts, please comment again. Fun channel. So I'll explain it again what has happened in the Narasimha case. Okay, right. Next one, Chapchar Kut festival. Very already asked in civil services 2018 prelims. I can remember the festival. So that year they have asked this. Now, last week the festival was celebrated by Mizoram state. It is the biggest festival of Mizoram. So that's why we have taken this article. Very factual stuff. There is not too much thing to announce. Then when it is celebrated when Zoom operations in the state is completed. Zoom cultivation means there is a agriculture. For example, in the normal agriculture, what we do, there is a agriculture fields and we keep cultivating here, right? So this is the normal agriculture. In Zoom cultivation, what they will do, they will select certain area, they will cultivate the soil, right? They will do agriculture here, and once that is over, they will go to some other area. So they keep shifting so that the production will increase. There is a fresh soil, right? So that's why they keep up moving, and after completing of all that, and again they will come here. So that will become replenished, right? So this is called as shifting cultivation, and in Mizoram it is called as Zoom cultivation. Once this Zoom cultivation, every time it is over, so the people of Mizoram will celebrate the Chapchar Kut festival. So that's what we are celebrating. It is also called as slash and burn. Once that is done, they will slash and burn it, right? This is celebrated every year in the March, because that is the season where it completes the harvesting, right? It is one of the three festivals that Mizoram celebrates, and the other two being Mim Kut and Paul Kut. So these three together becomes very important festivals in the Mizoram society. Next, and the last article is Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project. Especially from the people who are writing the Telangana or Andhra Pradesh exam, state PCS, it becomes very important. Anyway, this is very important for all the students, but specifically for Andhra and Telangana students, it becomes very, very important. So National Dam Safety Authority, NDSA, National Dam Safety Authority, is going to examine once again. They have already examined the quality of the project, but again they are coming because the government has changed in Telangana and they have asked to check and tell what is the issues, right? Now let's understand what actually is Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project. It is a multi-purpose. Multi-purpose means it can be used for irrigation, drinking, agriculture, different purposes. Okay, some projects are specifically designed for water, like Mission Bhagiratha, or some projects are exclusively for agriculture. They are solo, that just a single irrigation project. But this is a multi-irrigation project which is located on Godavari river. Very, very important. It is located on the Godavari river, and where it is located, where Pranahita, tributary of Godavari, where Pranahita meets Godavari, exact location where Pranahita meets Godavari, this Kaleshwaram lift irrigation project is constructed. And what is lift irrigation project? You all know, if you are civil engineering, it is much more easy. So lift irrigation means we are using pressure. The water to be delivered is at higher elevation. If it is lower elevation, no need of any pressure because it goes through slope. But if we need to give it to the higher altitudes, we need to lift and give it to using the pressure. So this is the lift irrigation project located on the confluence of Pranahita and Godavari. And this is considered to be the world's largest multi-purpose project. Very, very important. That's why it becomes very important. This is considered the world's largest, not only India or Asia, it is world's largest multi-purpose project. And after implementing it, approximately 45 lakh acres can be given with irrigation. Irrigation is very important. Till even today, only 50% agriculture is depend on irrigation. Rest of all are rain fed. Whenever there is a rainfall, then only they were able to cultivate. So this becomes very important. 45 lakh acres will be across Telangana. They are going to give the water through this project, right? And what is the issue now? Why the National Dam Safety Authority is coming? Because several piers of Medigadda barrage in Jaishankar Bhopalpalli district has found damaged. So the piers, the pillars as damaged. That's why they are inspecting. And this NDSA, National Dam Safety Authority, already came in now October, and they have said that there is a fault in design and planning. So such type of things should not be neglected, right? If there is any burst of the project, all the water will rush and there is a lot of villages which will be affected. So this has said that there was a fault in design as well as planning, maybe because of corruption, maybe negligence. So that's why this becomes the issue, right? So any doubts? Okay. All right. Next, the factual pointers. First one, there is a World Hearing Day 2024. World Hearing Day 2024. That is being celebrated every year on March 3rd. Right? So the theme is changing mindsets. Let's make ear and hearing care a reality for all. So this is the theme. This is the what you call the day. Okay, March 3rd is celebrated as World Hearing Day 2024, and the theme is also important to be remembered. Next one, National Safety Day. It is celebrated every year on March 4th. March 4th. Okay, National Safety Day. It aims to focus on safety measures beyond just a normal thing. So everyone should be safe in the world. That's India. So that is the aim. And the theme is safety for sustainable future. So this is the theme, right? The last one, the 10th edition of Pro Kabaddi. So if you are writing some other sports where sports also becomes important. So the Puneri Peltan has won the 10th edition of Pro Kabaddi League. For the first time they were the champions, right? So these are all the facts that we were able to cover for today. Okay. So any doubts? Right? So let's take the the practice questions for today. Right? So the first question, Shanan hydro power project is frequently seen in news. The project is the reason for dispute between what? Which states they are asking. So what is the answer? Haryana and Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, Punjab and Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand. So any answers from your side? Right? So any doubts, or you are able to answer? Yes, few people were able to answer it. Ramanjaneyulu, Fun Channel, Ganesh, Tarun, Ramya, all of you have answered it very well. Yes, this is how the questions can be framed, right? So answer is C, Punjab and Himachal Pradesh. So this is a fact. If you are not able to read this article, then you will not be able to answer it in the exam, right? You need to know that. Next question, which of the following statements about parliament privileges is not true? So we have discussed it exhaustively. Now still there is, a little bit tricky question. Let's see who will answer this. Privileges are in place to ensure smooth legislative process. First one, parliamentarians enjoy freedom from arrest in civil cases. Second one, Parliament enjoy freedom from arrest in criminal cases. Parliament enjoy freedom of speech in the House. So what is the answer for this? For second question, yeah, so the answer is this is correct. Privileges are in place to ensure smooth legislative process. That's why the privileges were there. So in case of civil cases and criminal cases are two different. Criminal cases involves intense mistake like crime or murder, something like that, right? So this is the difference between. So civil cases yes, but not in the criminal cases. That's what I said in the context. And parliamentarians enjoy the freedom of speech in the House. So C is wrong and answer is C. Yes, so few students have answered it wrong, and yes, some students have answered it as correct. So they enjoy civil cases but not in the criminal cases. Next one, with reference to India's nuclear program, consider the following statements. First one, India envisaged the roadmap of two-stage nuclear program. This is the first statement. The program has been conceived with the ultimate objective of utilizing the country's vast reserves of thorium-232. Third one, India used pressurized heavy water reactors in the second stage of nuclear program production. Now tell me, this is the difficult question. So this is the difficult question, third one. Let me see who will answer this. So third question, someone said 2 only, someone, yes, very good, very good. Someone said C, someone said B. Okay, let's see. India envisaged roadmap. So the whole nuclear energy production of India is of 3 stages. I told you, stage 1, 2 and 3. So this is wrong, you can eliminate. Second one, the program has been conceived with ultimate utilizing our thorium reserves. So this is correct. Third one, India used pressurized heavy water reactors in the first stage. I told you in the first stage we used pressurized heavy water reactors. In second stage, faster breeder nuclear reactors. And third stage, the thermal breeder reactors. These 3 things you need to remember. So this statement is wrong because pressurized heavy reactor we are using the stage 1. So answer is B. Very good, very good, Ramya, and yes, Tarun, right, you are correct. So answer is B. Next question, which of the following statements are incorrect about carbon capture and storage? Carbon capture is the trapping of carbon emissions after they have been emitted but before the entry into the atmosphere, right? So this is the carbon capture and storage they are saying. Second one, oceans, soils and depleted oil reserves can function as a natural carbon sinks. That means where carbon can be stored. Next, third one, carbon capture and storage involves complete removal of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. This is the third. None of the statements are incorrect. So they are saying all are correct. Yes, Ramya, second stage fast breeder. Yes, you are correct. So now tell me, first statement, carbon capture is trapping carbon emissions after they have been emitted, but before the entry into the atmosphere. That is the carbon capture, right? So carbon sequestration means this is after entering into atmosphere, the carbon dioxide in atmosphere. Ocean, soils, depleted reserves, yes, they can be used as storage. Fourth one, so yes, you are correct. Carbon capture and storage involves complete removal of carbon dioxide from atmosphere. No, not from atmosphere. Rather, even before entering into the atmosphere, we are going to capture, right? So this is wrong, and hence answer is C. Very good. Few students have answered it as correct. Ganesh, then Ramanjanelu. Yes, you guys are correct. Next and very direct question. Meme Kut, Chapchar Kut, Pal Kut are the festivals celebrated in which state? Meghalaya, Mizoram, Manipur, Madhya Pradesh. 4 is C. Okay, so this is correct only. So 4 is C is wrong. So they are asking not true. They are not. You need to read the question also correctly. So you will lose 2 marks or 1 mark, whatever the answer may be, right? So this is very direct question. Fifth one, everyone should answer this. Yes, all of you are correct. This is Mizoram, right? So we have Northeast Tripura and Mizoram. So this is the India map, you all know, right? So this is Tripura and this is Mizoram. Here we have Manipur, Nagaland, and then Arunachal Pradesh. Here we have Meghalaya, right? So you need to know the geography also when you are doing the certain states related things. So that will also be helpful for your exams, right? So do you have any doubts in any of the articles that we have discussed? I hope everything is fine. And if you have any doubts, you can comment there in the YouTube section even after completing the video. So I'll be responding to clear your queries, right? So thanks a lot for the support that you are showing on us. We will keep up doing these things. And in any case, if you are missing 1 or 2 days also, now we will do the recording and posting will be posted in the YouTube channel. So we are not going to miss any of the current affairs, right? So thanks a lot for the support and have a great evening. Bye.